All right, what is going on, Banter fan? Welcome into the Monday edition of In the Game. I am your host, Hustle, and as always, we will be diving into the crypto gaming markets today. And I have a very, very special guest today. I'm going to be joined by Elliott Hill from Verasity, and we will be going over everything top to bottom from the core pillars of the project to the future of the streaming platform and just the long-term vision for Veracity's protocol. We all know that their patented ad technology can integrate into Web2 businesses, and their future esports protocol with all the tournaments and the streaming capabilities. We'll see how much they can captivate and grow that audience. As we all know, esports streaming is massive. So we'll talk about everything Verasity in this video. It's a long time coming as we talk about this project quite a bit. So without further ado, let's get in the game.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't a percent. If you ain't here to hustle, why is you here? But if you here to hustle, the moon is near. It's crypto Banter, not financial advice. If you don't listen, what's the cost, what's the price? This ain't a game, put you on game. I know we gon' play, but ain't here to play. If you get lost, show you the way.
All right, and let's get right into it. And be sure, if you're new to the channel, to be sure and like and subscribe to the channel. We are live here on Crypto Banter every single day, 5 days of the week, here at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time on In the Game. And without further ado, I'm going to bring on Elliott, who is the Director of Communications for Verasity. Elliott, how are you doing today?
Hey Hustle, how's it going? Absolute pleasure to be here. I've been watching your channel and Crypto Banter for years now, ever since I worked back at Cardano, so it's a real pleasure to represent Veracity on your channel.
I really am honored to have you on the channel, just as much as I guess you're happy to be here. That means a lot that you watch the shows, and I'm just really excited to dig into the platform and everything that y'all are doing, because I think the whole scope of the project is so massive, and I think people maybe underestimate the scope of what you guys are doing. So I'm just excited to dig into it, as Veracity is one of my favorite protocols and projects across the crypto gaming space with the esports niche, but y'all are doing a lot more. So from your point of view, how would you describe Veracity? If someone on the audience right now hasn't heard of the project in the past, give me like a quick minute TLDR. How would you describe Veracity?
Yeah, for sure. I really like what you said there about the expanding ecosystem. And I think this is something that people who are new to the project maybe don't understand. So Veracity is an entire ecosystem. Our core focus is on preventing fraudulent ads. So we have a proof of view module, which sits inside an ad tech stack, and that prevents fake bots from viewing adverts on video media. So on your videos here on YouTube, we've got APIs that can be used on loads of different video players. And I think that's really critical at the moment. It's our core pillar, so it's our key business vertical. And it's really critical with some of the conversations going on today. I'm not sure if you've seen the banter today between Elon Musk and the CEO of Twitter. There's all of this discussion going on about how can advertisers possibly get value for money if they don't know who is, who are real viewers of their ads and who are fake viewers. So at its core, that's what we do at Veracity. But obviously, we've got many different other product verticals within that. So we've got the VeraWallet, which is where VRA can be held. And you can also earn VRA through our Watch and Earn program, which we make available at the moment through Vera Esports, which I think we're going to get into a little bit later. Yeah. And that sort of is the crypto side. You can get rewarded for watching content. That's going to be expanded, across not just Vera Esports, but that's going to be expanded out to other video services in the future. So we're going to make this ecosystem token available to earn and redeem for in-game items and that sort of stuff. So that's where Vera Esports sits. And you've got it up on the screen now, so you can see that we stream Valorant Champions Tour. We stream loads of different games on there, and you can earn VRA for watching those. And Vera Esports is really our proof of concept for the VeraViews ad tech stack. So it's the first place where we're preventing bots from viewing ads.
Right.
And that's like sort of our proof of concept. Obviously, the esports industry is like hugely growing. You guys are really into esports. I was loving some of the B-roll in the intro there. And we just think it's going to explode in the next couple of years, which is why we're super keen on building out our Vera Esports offering. But that is going to be the proof of concept for VeraViews as an ad fraud prevention protocol.
Yeah, I love it. And the whole integration, a lot of crypto projects, just in general in Web3, they're only Web3. And what I love about what Verasity does is a Web2 business that is core pillars are within traditional, normal, non-crypto business can take your technology and actually integrate it into their protocol. And like, I don't see it firsthand, but I do know that the botting issue with advertisement is definitely out there. Do you have any metrics or statistics to kind of expand on how much of a problem that is?
Yeah, so I mean, it really ranges. Like conservative estimates estimate there's around 11% of all adverts served through video on demand content. And video on demand content are things like I know Netflix don't have ads, but they're a good example of video on demand. Sky TV, they do video on demand content, and the ads that you see on there, up to 11% of them, if it's played online through an online video player, are not viewed by real people. In holiday seasons, when people are looking to buy things and advertisers generally spending more, there's data to suggest that in those seasons, it's up to 66% of advertisers' budgets. And when we say advertisers, we're talking like brands. So like Adidas, Nike, all the biggest brands that are, in the world spend billions of dollars on ads. And every single year, they're losing a huge portion of this to fake bots. The way I sort of like to conceptualize this as like an analogy for people who maybe don't understand that much in the advertising industry, or they're just getting started, is it's like someone having a warehouse full of television sets, and all the television sets are playing adverts, and they go to like a brand that they're working with and say, oh, hey, I've got your advert playing to like 50,000 television sets. But none of them are actually playing to real people. They're just playing out the ads, but the advertisers, the actual brands, are still paying for those ads. And what Veracity does is it makes sure that there is someone sitting there actually watching the ad and actually getting served that content. So it's a really powerful use case.
And for me, firsthand, I understand that what you just explained, like having a bunch of screens up and you're watching all at the same time, but really the company's not getting any value from that. For me, that reminded me of in college, if I was in an online class and it would say, you have to stay on this video for 5 minutes before you can proceed, and you click play and then you're scrolling around the internet doing something else while it's playing. It's the same kind of thing. So I completely see why that hurts a business model if its adverts aren't really reaching the target market, and then the solution that you guys are implementing. And so it's a 100, it is this as up to date. When was this updated here? Because a $160 billion problem with fraud regarding the ad tech.
$160 billion, but that's just in the US. So the US is currently the world's biggest advertising market, but that looks sort of set to change. So at the start of the year in Q1 2022, we announced that we had got patent protection for our proof of view module in China as well. And China is like a rapidly growing advertising market. Obviously, GDP is growing for all of the citizens of China. Everyone's collectively getting richer as a country, so they're spending more on consumer goods, and they're spending more on, brands are spending more on advertising. So we expect that China is maybe even going to overtake the USA as an advertising market, but as part of that, fraud is also going to overtake that. And they think by 2030, and this was a really interesting fact that I read just a few weeks ago, by 2030 they reckon that like mafia groups and this sort of thing, like deploying ad bots and deploying botnets to scalp advertising revenue is going to be their most important source of revenue. So like the gangster movies of the future, they're not going to be like bootlegging booze. They're going to be sitting there like deploying like advertising bots.
Cyber criminals, literally.
Exactly. Yeah. So it really shows how it's like changed, like the face of crime. And it's it's so easy for them. Like you said there about you would turn it off and walk away. That's essentially what their bot does. And there's loads of novel technologies that we can deploy that make sure that someone's actually got it open on a window on the screen, that they're looking at it. In mobile, and we don't do this yet, but some companies do, that they can tell if you're actually looking at your phone. It's a little bit Black Mirror-esque, but all of these ways to help publishers, to help advertisers save money. And what I really want to drive home here is it's not just the advertisers that are affected by fraudulent views, it's also publishers. So like you guys, your channel's absolutely huge. Say you wanted to run ads, you would say, well, we've served ads to like 500,000 people this week. And the advertiser would turn around and say, okay, well, prove it. How do we know that you haven't actually only served them to 100K people? And this is the problem that Elon Musk is highlighting now on Twitter. How do we know those people are real? And realistically, there's just no good solution that exists in the market now that's transparent and gives both sides, like publishers and brands, the data that they need. And that's where our blockchain element comes in.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And it makes a lot of sense for a project or I would just say a product to want to use that service to make sure that they're actually reaching tangible customers. And I see someone in the comments, adverts are the most annoying part of anything, but advertising runs the world. Advertising is never going to go away. Product placement, advertising, that is just the nature of any protocol out there. So having this technology to actually make that marketing and advert more effective for these businesses is exactly what Verasity is going for, which I absolutely love, because the advertising and marketing business is never going away. And they have a patented protocol that's there to secure and make sure that they're actually reaching real people, real customers that fit their demographic. So I absolutely love that. And I want to kind of shift over towards the streaming watch to earn side. When did Verasity kind of see that niche as something they wanted to attack and move over to the watch to earn? Because I think it's a brilliant, I would say, technology or ideology, because I come from an esports background myself. I've spent about 6 years in the semi-professional esports scene. And I know firsthand, if you're not one of the top 0.1% of players, you're not really ever making any money within the game. And then you look at the viewership on a project like, or a platform like Twitch, right? 600,000 watching Counter-Strike, 300,000 watching Grand Theft Auto, 200,000 watching all these games, Valorant, the Fortnite. So there's a big opportunity for watch to earn potentially if that was to shift over, because people love watching these streams, their favorite players, influencers within these games. So when did Vera Esports come into the fold as sort of a priority for you guys?
Yeah, that's a really, really great question. So obviously, like esports as an industry as well, it's predicted that in just a few years, in like 3 years, it's going to overtake like a lot of traditional sports viewership, like the NBA. I think it's already bigger than the NBA viewership. But watch and earn is sort of like an evolution on play and earn. But we thought, well, why not reward viewers? They're essentially, and someone actually made a really good point there. Adverts sort of are annoying when they become invasive. So why not reward people for having to see the advert? The publisher gets paid for serving the advert, but also it makes it a lot less annoying if the person who's actually viewing that advert, that they get rewarded as well. And obviously the upside of that is if you're less annoyed by an ad because you're getting paid to watch it, you're probably more likely to actually go out and buy the product as well. So this is sort of an all-encompassing ecosystem that helps the publishers, it helps the advertisers, and it helps the people having to view it. Now, esports became an important focus for that. For one, because it's growing so much, and as you just showed there, like, look how many people right now on a Monday evening are watching and consuming content on Twitch. So obviously that's absolutely huge. We want to grow our own platform so that people can stream tournaments through Vera Esports. Vera Esports is going to be more focused on competitive gaming, so competitive streams and hosting official esports tournaments. So as you can see there, we were the official partner in the APAC region for the Valorant Champions Tour. So it might not take the format of Twitch, where people just, stream what they're doing, or maybe they're having a chat while they're playing some games. I think that would be going too head to head with what Twitch already do really well. And in terms of a place where games publishers, and we've already worked with AAA publishers. They can come to us and say, we want to stream content on your platform, especially in East Asia where you guys are already pretty big. And also we like the fact that you reward people for watching videos on your platform. So they're going to get more viewers as well. Now, the transformation of this is where things start to really get interesting. So right now, people can come to Vera Esports, they can watch a tournament and they can get some tokens. That's either VRA, or we have Vera Esports rewards points as well. At the moment, there's a few things within our ecosystem that they can redeem them for, like a couple of game skins, maybe a Steam voucher when they've earned
that's awesome.
points. But what we really want to do is expand the integration so that VeraWallet is integrated within our upcoming NFT marketplace, which is called the Veraverse. And then we're going to work with these AAA games publishers who we already have a relationship with to develop unique in-game items that can only be acquired through watching a stream on Vera Esports, for instance. And then you buy that with the VRA that you've earned through Watch and Earn. So then you can go and get unique skin, say for PUBG or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's where it'll really start to have increased utility. Right now, our focus for Vera Esports is on driving traffic to the platform, and we had some really good discussions last week with some third-party partners that are going to help us do that. They're experts in the esports space, so we're really excited to share more news on that soon. And obviously, we also brought on Perry, who is our head of esports. And he joined in pretty much the same time that I did. And he's been instrumental in pushing forward loads of these deals and how we're going to grow in the esports space. So we've got big things on the horizon for Vera Esports. And as an esports enthusiast myself, it's really cool to be working across blockchain and esports. Yeah.
You just blew my mind when you said the potential integration of Watch and Earn, where you can potentially actually get a skin within a game. That is an absolute amazing concept. And y'all, the games that you host right now on the platform, these are partners, correct? Your partners basically with CSGO, PUBG, Dota to be able to run these events. Is that correct?
Some of these are user generated content, so we allow people to create their own tournaments, but we do have partnerships with Valorant, so with Riot Games. And we partnered with the Galaxy Cup 2020, so they're a community-led Axie Infinity tournament as well. And we have partnerships coming up and tournament partnerships with more AAA game publishers. So what's good about the platform is that anyone can create a tournament on there. So we're going to have user created tournaments. It won't necessarily be user created content you get on Twitch, where people are just streaming casually, but
right.
anyone can sign up to Vera Esports and run their own gaming tournament, and they can say that people can get watch and earn points. So it's really easy to get people to come and actually watch them play that tournament.
That's an amazing, amazing concept. And so this is the stats down here for those watching as well. So almost 11 million video views already on the platform, and about 6 million page views with 5,000 plus matches and 150,000 in prize money. And this really is just the first leg of this platform. I mean, y'all are really just ramping this up. I mean, these numbers are probably going to be very, very minor to what the long term is for the platform.
Yeah, they're actually already out of date though, so we need to update them a bit. They're higher than that now, but yeah, I think the next step for us, as I said before, is to get partnerships with third-party providers so we can really keep pushing the content, get more streamers on the platform that want to run tournaments. And then what we're going to do is actually embark on some, really structured advertising. And a lot of the conversations we've been having in the last couple of weeks, obviously advertising is our bag. We all have experience in advertising. So a lot of the discussions we've been having the last couple of weeks is really pushing ads to relevant user groups and saying, come look at our platform. We literally pay you to watch esports content.
Yeah.
So that's something that is a really defining USP for Verasity and Vera Esports. And we need to make more noise about it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I wanted to go through this Twitter thread because I thought you did a really good job of kind of explaining just the scope of the industries that you guys are involved in with advertising, with esports, et cetera. And I'll just kind of read through a little bit of it. Y'all are in a unique position, as we discussed, because you're blockchain based, but you can literally run into any business model with your ad technology. So you develop your product for advertising and esports and for your business goals. The revenue from the ad stack have foundations in traditional off-chain industries. And then this right here is what people, I think, underestimate with this growth of esports. So 590 million esports viewers estimated by 2024. And if you were to look at a chart, movie industry versus the gaming industry, it is exponential growth for the gaming industry, and the movie industry is slowly decaying. So what do you think is the biggest factor that's going to take us to the 590 million esports viewers, and what is Verasity going to play a role in that?
I actually think that's probably a pretty conservative estimate. I actually think we're going to grow more than that as an industry. I think like it's not just younger generations either. It's people like our generations that grew up having playing games just as like the de facto thing that we did in our spare time, and it's how we connected with friends. It's how we connected, with all of our like social group. And now you can do that online. And I think with like remote working and these sorts of things on the rise, that need for a social connection, but not necessarily just sitting there and watching something. You said that that's on the decline, like the movie industry. I think like the social element of esports is going to push it to that 590 million alone, like really easily. But actually, the other edge of it is the competitive edge. So we live in a hyper connected world, but that's increasingly becoming online. It is easier to pick up like a games console, or I use PC. I'm a PC gamer, and have that competitive edge without actually hauling yourself up off your chair, I guess. So that's like obviously the evolution of sports as well. And I really think that it makes like all kinds of sports inclusive too. So, pretty much anyone can play esports tournaments if they want to. Everyone can get to that practice enough and get to that point where they can be, maybe a semi-pro player. Yeah. Probably not everyone. But I don't think traditional sports are that inclusive, So I think just the whole industry, it's got like a billions and billions of people who can get into it. Like the addressable market is absolutely huge. And on that thread, that's really what I wanted to hit home to our community. So obviously it's been a tough couple of weeks in crypto. There's no denying that. Yeah. But Verasity is a project, not just on the ad tech side, not just on the esports side, but for our whole project. We're not really dependent on the market forces that are happening in the crypto space. Obviously, it's important to us, and we want to always bring value to our token holders. But our core like addressable markets are enterprise and like esports enthusiasts, and they sort of exist what I would say like off chain. Like it doesn't really matter what's happening in the blockchain industries. Right. They are still building and they're growing hugely. So we learned a few weeks ago, we were at an event in London. It was Engage 2022. That's ran by IAB, who are one of like the biggest advertising standards bodies in the world. And so there's been a 41% yearly increase in digital ad spend because everyone's sitting at home, like everyone's consuming media way more than they used to. That's the biggest gain in 15 years. So it's just exploding as an industry. It's really, really, important that Verasity is here innovating within this hugely growing market.
Definitely. And I think the inclusive aspect of what you said, and I wanted to just kind of show examples really quick, just pulling up a Warzone stream of one of the more popular streamers, and it goes to an advert. There we go. That's actually perfect. So like Swag, yeah, like Swag, for example, he has 2.1 million followers. People latch on to that personality. And for traditional sports, a lot of the players, you don't see what they're doing off the field. You don't get to hear conversations with them that it's not regarding regarding the game or football or basketball or whatever the sport is. The inclusivity of watching your favorite streamer, for example, like being able to actually interact with your community, the chat box on the right with your community actually asking questions. There's so much more of a connection with esports viewership than there is with most, I would almost say anything else in the world. Like your favorite actors aren't there chatting with you when you're watching a TV show. Your favorite athletes aren't there chatting with you when you're watching a movie, but your favorite streamers and esports personalities are, and they're much more, welcoming to that. So I think that that's a big thing that you said with the inclusivity. So I absolutely love that. And in the next few years, what are the next goals? I heard you mentioned the NFT marketplace. Can you elaborate a little bit on the Verasity Esports or the NFT marketplace?
Yeah, for sure. So the Verasity NFT marketplace is going to be called Veraverse. We're rolling this out through the rest of 2022, and it's going to be an absolutely huge focus for us. One of the biggest focuses actually after our Bright Cove integration, which maybe we can chat about in a bit more detail later on. But the Veraverse is going to be sort of like your traditional NFT marketplace, where there's going to be like a peer-to-peer set like NFT sales, but crucially, like its main focus is on esports NFTs. So we spoke a little bit there like about skins and in-game items, and I think it's still pinned to our Twitter profile. I'm not sure if you can get it up, but we actually had like a sneak peek there of our like NFT marketplace and what the interfaces are going to look like. Should be the pinned post, I think. Yep. Yeah. So we had just a little sneak peek there of what it's going to look like. We mainly have it for like, there's mainly going to be like in-game items, skins, armor mods, weapons mods, this sort of thing. So that's going to be like the first iteration. But what we're really excited about to bring as an innovation to market, so it's not just another NFT marketplace, is our proof of view capabilities. So proof of view is developed for advertising, and that's where we had our patents. We had a patent in the USA and China for the proof of view module, which sits on the Vera chain. That's a side chain of Ethereum that we tailor-made, that we built for our own purposes.
That's amazing.
But we've realized that proof of view can pretty much be used to prevent fraud and bot views and fake views and fraudulent activity across a whole host of applications. One of those that we're exploring and trying to drive some conversations around are fake tweets, as we were just chatting about. But the other one is preventing NFT fraud. So NFT fraud, like at the point of mint, is a massive problem. So just because you own an NFT doesn't mean someone can't right-click save as like a JPEG, and okay, you still own it, but what if they go and mint that as another NFT? Who's to say who had the original? Who's to say who has the digital ownership rights for those NFTs? And I think it was OpenSea said that up to 80% of the NFTs minted through their minting protocol were fraudulent mints, like they were duplicates or they were just like blatant rip-offs of someone else's work.
Right.
And we can prevent that with proof of view.
That's amazing. Yeah, and this looks super sharp. So as we see the Veraverse, you have like the price tweaks. You can go through the categories, whether it's games, characters, weapons, transports, skins. So it looks like it's going to be a very all-encompassing platform that involves NFTs from games and different levels of. And I see events here. Can you allow? What kind of events would be on the marketplace?
Yeah, devs have done a really good job of the interface. I think it looks really slick. Events would be like you could buy tickets like exclusive esports tournaments. So obviously we're opening up the world again, in-person events. I think Valorant Champions Tour just announced their 2 in-person events. So they've got like the 2 final legs of the Valorant Champions Tour are going to be in person. So say you wanted exclusive tickets to that, you've earned enough VRA through Watch and Earn to save up for a tournament ticket. You could purchase it. It could be issued as an NFT and then purchased on the VeraViews marketplace. What's great about, the Veraverse marketplace. What's great about that is as well, you could have programmability in tickets like that. So, like ticket scalpers and stuff and resale, part of that would either go back to the tournament creator. You could have all this programmability at the point of mint for like an NFT based ticket.
Yeah, that's awesome. I absolutely love the ideology behind that, because I do think that that'll also be a big thing in the future. Like event ticketing, being an NFT, as you said, providing this or preventing the scalping of tickets, etc. So yeah, I mean, in the next couple of years down the line, where should we expect to potentially see the esports platform, the NFT marketplace? How will these all function together and come together for the long-term vision of the ecosystem?
It's a really good question. I think our long-term vision, obviously, we will evolve and we'll always be looking to stay agile. So whatever happens in the market, we'll innovate into those trends. But where we see the vision in like the current ecosystem would be to have esports content from AAA publishers hosted on Vera Esports. And then they can say, okay, we're going to host, like, let's say, for example, like the Valorant Champions Tour 2025 or something.
Yeah.
And we're going to make loads of exclusive gear and merchandise that can be downloadable or like usable in game, but we're going to mint it as an NFT, and we're going to make that available on the Veraverse NFT marketplace, and you can purchase it through VRA tokens. So you can earn VRA using Watch and Earn. Maybe you can save up that way, or you could just have it from maybe from our staking program. We like currently offer like 18.25% staking locked in until next year. So you could generate VRA that way, and then you could trickle that down into the Veraverse NFT marketplace.
Right. No, I absolutely love it. And I think that the protocol itself has a huge potential to really capture multiple niches, multiple business models down the line. Because as we said, advertising is not going anywhere. It's one of the biggest businesses in the world, marketing, advertising, etc. And then obviously with the growth of esports being so exponential, I do see that the project has a ton of potential. If we're looking at the 3-5 year timelines, there's a lot that could go on within that time period. So guys, be sure to follow Elliott on Twitter at block_writer. Be sure to also follow Verasity Tech on Twitter as well. Anything else you wanted to touch on before we close it out?
Yeah, maybe follow our founder as well, Mark, because he's got some really cool insights into how he's been in the advertising space for a long, long time. And he's got some really cool insights into how Verasity Tech, specifically our proof of view module, could be deployed to prevent fake adverts and bots on Twitter. It's something that we are actually seriously looking into, and that we're seriously going to have a look at building out a proposal for. And we really want to generate some interesting ideas around, the conversations we can have. So yeah, do follow Mark as well. And yeah, check out Vera Esports, maybe make a VeraWallet account and start earning some VRA through Watch and Earn.
Absolutely. I definitely recommend doing so, guys, especially just to see how the technology works. It's very interesting. I've gone in there and done some of the watch to earn stuff as well, because I do think that has a big market behind it. And if it adopts, if Veracity's platform catches more steam over the next couple of years with the games, with the esports events, etc., I could totally see the esports watch and earn aspect trickle over, because if people don't know, people actually pay subscriptions on Twitch, right? They'll pay $5 to support their favorite creators. And then now you would actually have the decentralized version where you're actually being paid to watch the streams for spending your time on the protocol. So I absolutely love it. We'll go ahead and close it out there. Elliott, I really appreciate you joining me. I know you're super busy. There's a lot going on with these markets within Veracity. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed the video, and if you are bullish on the future of Veracity, be sure to subscribe. We're live every day here on Crypto Banter in the game at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. We have a special week of content coming up that you don't want to miss, and it was starting with today's interview with Elliott. Thank you so much for joining me again. We're out of here, guys. Till next time, play well, my friends.
Thanks, Hustle.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.